I'm gonna talk about Sheepshead Bay. It's a neighborhood in Brooklyn where I live. The neighborhood that you see right now, it's a neighborhood in Brooklyn. You know, New York City is divided into 5 boroughs. One of those boroughs is called Brooklyn. Another boroughs are called Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, the Bronx. And Brooklyn is the borough I live. And Brooklyn is a huge place, actually. More than 2 million people live in Brooklyn, so Brooklyn is a huge town. It's like a town by itself. So Brooklyn is divided into many different neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods are very different. So the neighborhood I live in, the neighborhood I drive, the neighborhood you see right now is called Sheepshead Bay. Bay means it's next to the water. It's next to the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, Sheepshead Bay. I like this neighborhood because it gives you a feeling of a small town. Yes, I live in a huge city, New York City, which is part of New York metropolitan area. New York metropolitan area is more than 20 million people, and New York City is about 8 million people living here officially, and maybe the same number living here unofficially. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. But this neighborhood, Sheepshead Bay, it gives you a feeling of a small town. It feels like a small town here. And that's awesome, that's wonderful. That's why I like living here. So I have all resources of a large city. All the doctors, education, shopping, all benefits of living in a large city. But at the same time, my neighborhood looks and feels like a small town. That's why I like it. Even though Sheepshead Bay is not such a small neighborhood, there are about 70,000 people live in Sheepshead Bay. But that's a place I like. I moved to Sheepshead Bay when I was about 30, which was like more than 20 years ago. And I live here since, and I absolutely love Sheepshead Bay. It also, the air quality here is much better than the rest of New York City. It feels also, the weather here is a little cooler than the rest of New York City. Now, for example, during the hot days of summer, in Manhattan, there might be 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But here in Sheepshead Bay, it's never 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's at most 94. So this neighborhood is cool. Also, real estate here is cheaper than average in Brooklyn. Like average, if you want to rent an apartment in New York City, the average rent price is like $5,000 a month. That's what they say. I don't know personally anybody who pays so much. But here in Sheepshead Bay, you can rent an apartment for $2,000 a month easily. And look at all those private houses. You see, I am driving right now in a residential area. You see, all houses are small, relatively small private houses. And every one of those houses has a walk-in apartment. And those walk-in apartments, they are not basements. Basement apartments are illegal in New York City. But walk-in apartments, they're cheap. They're not expensive. Maybe you can even find one for $1,800 a month, maybe even cheaper, depending on the apartment. And once you rented the walk-in apartment and you pay on time, your landlord is a private citizen. He only owns one apartment, the one you rent. And if he is an elderly person, he paid off his mortgage. So for him, the peace of mind is much more important than lucrative reasons. So very often they don't raise your rent. They raise your rent very little, because if you'll be able to build trusting relationship with this landlord, like you help him, you talk to him, you always pay on time. First of month, you bring the rent. Then this landlord, this elderly landlord, he's gonna trust you. And as a result of this trust, he is gonna afraid to lose you. So when it comes time to raising rent, they don't raise much if they know the tenant. That's what I'm telling you. So here you can build actually trusting relationship with your landlord in Sheepshead Bay. It works. What I'm telling you, it absolutely works. If you want to go to Manhattan, it takes you about 45 minutes to get to Manhattan on a train. About 45 minutes. If you want to get to JFK or Long Island, next to Sheepshead Bay, Bell Parkway. Bell Parkway, it's what takes you to Queens, to Staten Island, to JFK Airport. Yes. And you can also drive to Manhattan. If there is no traffic, like on Saturday or Sunday, you can drive to Manhattan. And on Sunday, there are plenty of parking in Manhattan. Yes. And this place is, I wouldn't, this place is diverse. Yeah, there is no single ethnicity or race relevant here, like there are all kind of people. And people are very polite and peaceful. There are very, very few crime in this neighborhood. I live here for 20 years. I only heard of one street robbery. That's it. Maybe 1 or 2 murders. All family related. Yes, when family members were disputing and it went too far. Yeah, that's what it is. So also real estate here is not that expensive. If you want to buy 1-bedroom apartment, you can find it for $300,000. If you want to buy a house, yes, it will cost you about $900,000. But if you want to buy a co-op apartments, they cost about $300,000, maybe more, maybe less, depending on the building. But if you want to buy a condo in a new building, yeah, that would cost you about $500,000. Anyway, it's cheaper than most other neighborhoods in New York City. Okay, that's about it. Let me wrap it up. I found parking. Here's another thing. As you can see, I found parking pretty fast, pretty quickly. It's another plus of living in Sheepshead Bay. Okay, ciao. Peace out.